Has he left? Is that it? Is it finished?
So good evening and welcome to a very late edition of this week's market overview. I'm joined with Bilo and several others actually in the guest box this evening. We've got Mark, we've got DJ Town, we've got Ashraf. Let's go, guys. Bilo, what are you going to say about
Hey
about
everybody,
the big
hope
B
everybody's
today?
having a nice evening. Some of you probably are in Monday, so happy Monday. We're going to start off by the usual historical chart of Bitcoin, recent history being the all-time high with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ending sometime in April with an ending wave diagonal. We had a large ABC correction brought about by this rising wedge, continuous bearish divergence, Elon tweet, China FUD, IRS news, and a whole bunch of other bearish stuff happening all at the same time. We dropped down to about 30K. We stayed within range in what many have likened to the Wyckoff accumulation. We have since broken out, made 52.7 as a local high, and have recently dropped down to 42K before continuing on back up again. Back up again is a big word, seeing as we are only at 47K. But as we've discussed several times, there are several factors that make Bitcoin actually stable at the moment. But just a little bit of a reminder for everybody, when we were in these zones, we said that in order for us to get out and become more bullish about what's happening with Bitcoin, we needed to see Bitcoin conquer the 4-hour 200 EMA, check, the daily 200 EMA, check, the 42K level, which is the top of wave 3, check, and finally the 200 SMA on the daily. So the 200 SMA on the daily currently sits at, just because it's close, 46,748. So we're currently above it, which is a good thing. Also, you will notice that when we were around these areas, and we again had this pattern of bearish divergence that we see here, the drop similar to this one, although many were thinking we were going to have a major correction, we in Crypto Society always said that we had a lot of support below us. Again, the same support, the same resistances that we conquered that I mentioned earlier, the 200 EMA on the 4-hour, 200 on the daily, the 42K, and the 200 SMA, which would stop us from having a very large correction, large being, again, relative term in crypto. And if you notice, we did actually bounce at the 42K level, which is the top of wave 3, and have since then, I'm just going to zoom in here, been playing around in this similar to, I guess, an accumulation zone like we had before, just on a much smaller scale. Let's call this the stability zone. Anything in here is what I would say is stable for Bitcoin. And we've broken out of it, come back into it, bounced off of the 200 SMA, and are now currently sitting in the top of the box. As far as I'm concerned, staying above this box is bullish. Getting into this box is stable. Let's call it, stability. Going below this box, I'm going to start to pay a lot more attention to what's happening and maybe not change my bias, because my bias is overall bullish, but maybe do a little bit more of an in-depth analysis as to what's going to happen and where we're going to go. If we're looking at this this area here and trying to find something, just something to follow in terms of a pattern, we could see that we have two possibilities. We have this channel here, which this is the top of, and we could be heading back down. We also have this channel. Both are honestly quite loose, just something interesting to keep an eye on and just keep a look at and see where they go. In terms of RSIs, MFIs, and all these things, there's really not much to talk about right now. There is nothing obvious. It's too soon to say anything for certain, but one thing that does stand out, and even though it does stand out, it's Bitcoin, and it's not, for me at least, enough to say this is it. We are definitely moving up here, as we do see this bullish divergence happening on the 4-hour candles. Again, there's another 3 hours for this candle to end. This could very easily be erased. And since this is the first one, I would be cautious to say we're moving up from here. But interesting, nice to take a look at and make sure that we don't drop below this level to keep this bullish divergence from dissipating and disappearing. On August 29th, guys, we made an announcement in the TA channel, and I hope you guys follow the TA channel because a lot of work goes in there and a lot of insight goes in there. But around this period, we made an announcement. It was a consensus that we had that we should be entering into alt season soon. Again, it brings me back into the discussion we started out with, is that we have a lot of support below our price, and we have decent resistance above it. Once you have that situation, we have a lot of good support below you and decent support resistance above you. Well, obviously now you're squeezed into this kind of range where your Bitcoin is stable. Again, stable being a relative term in crypto. We're not going to see $10,000 drop, but I mean, we did see a substantial drop here, which bounced very, very quickly and was more of a shakeout than anything else. Just to measure the size of the drop, it was, let's see, it was a 20% drop. I mean, in traditional markets, that's huge, but I mean, it's not unheard of in crypto. And the fact that it bounced right back up to about 50% of the drop just goes to show you that this was really a shakeout before either continuing up or going sideways or what have you. Nobody knows. Nobody can tell you this is what's about to happen, guys. We can only tell you what the charts show and the different possibilities and what to look out for. I currently believe, and I'll let others on the call also voice their opinion, that we are still going to be in a stable zone for BTC, allowing for other crypto assets to move on up over the next few weeks. I think we're going to be in a relatively stable zone over the next 2 weeks. One thing that I found interesting, I was just playing with the charts before we came on. So you see what Bitcoin looks like, and usually Ethereum looks very similar, except that in this case, Ethereum doesn't. Ethereum actually looks nicer than Bitcoin from a charts perspective. So you could see we're in a descending falling wedge for Ethereum. We have a very clear one and then ABC. This ABC, if we just do a Fibonacci extension on this ABC to see if it's within a reasonable target range for wave C, we see that we're going to be, we're basically bouncing off of the 618. So this is, and also we're in a zone where it depends how you play with the chart, but we're also in a zone where there is a substantial amount of support in this area. You can look at this through the VPVR, but you can also see the consolidation that happened in Ethereum. I'm just trying to find the box. Sorry, guys. Where's the box? Here's the box. In this zone here. So this zone here is, very nice support for Ethereum. So me personally, I would say that we're going to go up from here. We should not be going down anymore from here. And we should be looking to break this RSI resistance. That's what I'll be looking for confirmation. It's the break of this RSI resistance, which we could see more clearly on the hourly or the 4 hourly. It doesn't really matter, but here it is. Yeah, on the hourly. So I'd like to see this break out of here. I'd like to see this break out of here. And I would say that this would be a continuation going to the upside. So this would be wave 1, wave 2, ABC is done, and now we're going on up. And if we wanted to put targets on it, then of course, Bitcoin has to stay stable for all this to mean anything. But if we wanted to put targets on it, I would be looking for 4,000 pretty soon. So we'd be looking for something that looks like this, so long as Bitcoin stays relatively stable. Where is my, here it is. So that's what I'd be looking for, guys. 1, 2, and this would be 3. So I'd be looking to actually make it back up close to the all-time highs pretty soon. So we'll see. We'll see if Bitcoin does behave, if there are no black swan events, if there are no manipulative efforts. But this is what I see for Ethereum. A few days ago, I put out a chart that after I saw it myself, I felt like maybe it was confusing to many, but I'll just go over it a little bit and I'll explain my my reasoning. If it's on this one or on that one, hold on. Yeah, it's this one here. So looking at Bitcoin from a very bearish perspective. If I look at Bitcoin from a very bearish perspective, so this is the usual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the top of wave 3, which has proven to be quite important so far. It's also the top of the Wyckoff accumulation. It's the bounce that we just saw recently. But what bothers me with this, the price levels we're seeing right now, is if this is the top of wave 5, and I believe it is, well, we need to see a proper ABC. And as you all know, an ABC, usually looks something like this, A, B, C. We haven't really seen that yet. So if we zoom into that zone, we've seen the A. To me, this is the A. The B is maybe somewhere here, but we haven't really seen the C yet. Now, the fact that this was a manipulative move, the fact that this was obviously, I should say, a manipulative move, a shakeout, because of the bounce that happened right after, I don't know if it's an easy enough ABC to see in terms of ABC, but rather maybe A down to here, B up to here, and C down there. But the point is, the ABC is certainly not over. So what can happen very often, and we see this very, very often, is that the shape I just drew earlier for the ABC, which is where C is actually lower than A, than A, doesn't always have to be, guys. It's very often what we'll see instead of an ABC that looks like so, that looks like this, is a lot of times we'll see an ABC that looks like this. So if I was to actually just draw the ABC using the tool for ABC, sometimes we see an ABC that looks like this, A, B, and then this is the C. And it ends up being that what we're looking at is actually a double bottom. So the ABC double bottom is something that we see often and is usually a very bullish correction before a continuation to the upside. So best case scenario, we should stay within this region. Again, I want to emphasize this region is not the bottom because I believe this was a shakeout. I want to say that the region, going back to this chart, has to be, for me, this green area right here. So I wouldn't want to see Bitcoin leave this area, and this would give me a nice confirmation of an ABC. So a bounce around this zone here, for me, would be extremely bullish, and I would definitely go along in this area because I would have a nice double bottom confirmation of an ABC with a target, which is the size of this rectangle and higher. So the target basically, guys, would be back to 53, 54,000. And if you recall from previous charts that I've shared, I actually have a target of 55K for Bitcoin using Elliott Wave theory. It's on my neck, and I think it's on my other list. I'm just going to share it with you very quickly, just as a reminder. Sorry, guys, a lot of charts. And that's the one that we're looking at now. Here we go. So, no, that's not it. Here it is, this one here. So my target for wave 3 is actually 55K. There was a lot of reasons for it. I don't want to waste any more time, but for me, this is still viable. We're still within our wave 2 to 3, with a correction down to wave 4 is lower than I expected, but it doesn't change my target for wave for wave 3, excuse me, I misspoke. So this would be wave 3, this would be wave 4, and then my wave 5 would be here. So this is what I'm looking for, and you can see why, guys. I mean, look at this zone. It's full of resistance and a lot of price action here, and you can see that on the VPVR. That's all VPVR shows us, by the way, guys. VPVR just shows us at what prices was there a lot of buying and selling. And so if you're below it, it's resistance. If you're above it, it's support. It's really that simple. It's nothing complicated. So the target remains the same. The wave count obviously changes. I couldn't have foreseen this. So that's what I'll be looking for. And I'm looking for a double bottom at around, I don't want to say here because, I mean, I don't have any reason to believe we'll go back down here, but definitely within this accumulation rectangle zone. Okay, next thing I'd like to talk about is Solana. So I don't know how much Solana has, suffered because of their network issues that they've had, but I mean, we could see that, there's been a very good, strong correction on Solana. If we just take it from the last wave and we check out the Fibonacci retracement that we've seen on Solana, so we've gone below 50%. Many would like to see the 0.618 level happen. I again will be looking for a double bottom in this correction if it was to go back down further, because this area again is a strong support. Very often C actually invalidates itself by ending above A. We do have some support regions here. So I don't know. I don't feel like Solana is going to correct much, and I think it's going to defy at least my understanding of Elliott Wave theory, where C has to at least be equal to A or lower, just because of the volume profile, guys. If you look at the volume profile, as we're dropping, the volume is dropping as well. Usually when you see that, it's a sign of a reversal, right? So whenever you see price action drop and you see the volume bars get shorter, usually that's a slowdown and a sign of reversal, and usually you'll see some bullish divergence. Usually you'll see some bullish divergence on the chart. We haven't seen it yet. Not to say it's over and it will not happen, but I believe that as this goes down, if it continues to go down at the rate at which it's going down at, with low volume, I believe that the bullish divergence will show itself quite soon and we'll have a bounce. But again, no predictions. Solana for me is a purely FA-based coin. The TA that we've done on it so far has been pretty accurate. If you go back and look at the channel, it's been very accurate. We've placed targets that have all been hit, and the reasons for those targets were explained. In this particular case, I'll be honest, I don't feel comfortable saying how far back Solana will drop, aside from the fact that it's an extremely strong, fundamentally strong project, and I personally don't think the price drop will not be gobbled up very quickly. And purely from that perspective, I have higher expectations and low probability of it to go down much more here. So this is not TA. This is purely from an FA perspective that I'm discussing Solana at the moment. The next project I'd like to look at is Moon River. Been talking about Moon River for some time now. It's a phenomenal coin. It's done very, very well. Moon River is, for those that don't know, it's the sister network of the up-and-coming Moonbeam. It's not out yet. The Glimmer token is not out yet. Moon River tokens are a result of the Kusama parachain auctions. It won the second parachain auction slot. It's a project that is 100% community-based. There were no private sales, no seed sales, no VCs in Moon River. Now, of course, you could have had VCs and large whales participate in the Kusama crowd loan event, Kusama parachain auctions for the Moon River crowd loan event, and that could, of course, have meant that you have whales holding a substantial amount of Moon River. So it's something that could actually be easily analyzed. We can go on chain and analyze which wallets hold the most and what percentage of the circulating supply. And that's something that maybe we could do next time. It would be an interesting exercise. But the narrative for Moon River is that it's a community token and will be governed by the community through voting. Very soon, there's a lot of projects that are deploying onto Moon River. And guys, so Moon River to Moonbeam is the same as Kusama to DOT. People sometimes don't understand the difference. And the difference simply is that Kusama is where projects go to test. And it's not just a test, because you can actually deploy and continue to run your project on Kusama. But a lot of projects actually do go and test and make sure that they run out all the bugs on Kusama before they migrate onto DOT. Well, Moon River is a similar concept. It's the canary network for Moonbeam. So projects are going to go and test and deploy on Moon River prior to their deployment on Moonbeam. A lot of projects will choose to stay on Moon River because it has its own functioning, fully viable ecosystem. And that's why the use case for Moon River is not just a testnet. Just of interest and of note, we have an AMA coming up with Moonbeam and Moon River this coming Thursday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. CET. It's going to be a very interesting AMA, and you will all, everybody, including myself, will all learn a lot from this AMA. And it's one of those projects, guys, that it's going to make it to the top crypto lineup, in my opinion, in the next 6 months to 1 year. It'll be in the top, let's call it 20 or 30 projects minimum. Still has a long way to go. When you look at a project, guys, we all have a tendency to just look at price. Very important to look at market cap and analyze the project and what it does and compare it to similar projects, because a lot of projects do similar things, right? So if you're comparing two projects, don't just look at price, look at market cap, look at token supply, look at the potential in terms of what the other project reached in terms of market cap, and do the same thing for the project you're looking at, and you'll see the potential. We've discussed this over the past months on, for example, Solana and Ethereum. Solana is roughly, I don't know exactly what it is right now, but let's call it 1/10 the market cap of Ethereum. Well, if you believe Solana is a competitor to Ethereum, and there should be no reason why Solana can not reach the market cap of Ethereum, well, there you go. Your target for Solana would be 10x from where it is today. It's really that simple. Now, obviously, Solana has to continue to do a good job. They have to continue to process and advance and improve, and they can't screw anything up for that to happen. But if things go relatively well and they do what they're supposed to do and what they're expected to do, there's no reason why the market cap for Solana can't one day catch up or at least be closer to the market cap of Ethereum. So that's how you look at those things. And that's how you should be looking Moon River and other projects we're talking about, and not purely from, oh my God, it's $380, I'm too late, it was $130 not long ago. It's not the way to look at projects, guys. And it's important to break out of that habit. And it's something that I do myself. I'm not trying to sound better than anyone, but I'm just advising everybody and reminding myself that it's important to understand and review the market cap before you make a decision on what's investable and what's not. So for Moon River, we've completed 5 cycles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've had our ABC correction. We have very obvious bullish divergence. We've had a wave 1, 2. We can see the bullish divergence is there. We had a confirmation from market side for B, and we're right now in wave 3. As you know, each wave consists of 5 moves. So this should be 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. Currently, my target for wave 3 is around $550, more or less. So I'm quite bullish on Moon River, and I like what it's doing. And just, guys, join the AMA and you'll learn a lot more. Next project I would like to discuss eventually on this call is DOT. But before I do get there, another project to keep an eye on is Kilt. We've also told you guys on several of these live sessions, keep an eye on Kilt. Try and participate in the Kusama parachain auctions for Kilt. They're now over. Kilt was the 6th winner of the Kusama parachain auction, so they have secured their slot, and it's one of those projects, guys, that everyone's going to want to own. So keep your eyes on it, read up on it, subscribe to their Twitter channel, subscribe to their Telegram channel. Keep it in your radar because it's one of those projects that is extremely hyped and will also do very, very well. Guys, so you've seen the success of the Kusama parachain auctions, and maybe some of you have regretted not joining. Maybe some of you didn't know about it and wish you knew about it. Well, there are still other parachain auctions for Kusama coming. Maybe the projects that are on there are not as hyped as the ones we just spoke about, like Karura, like Moon River, like Kilt, but there are still some. And the way that it works, guys, is you lock up your Kusamas for about 48 weeks. And in exchange, if the project that you supported wins, you get free tokens from that project. Essentially, that's what it is. You're supporting the project with your Kusamas, locked for 48 weeks. These are your Kusamas. They will come back to you after 48 weeks. And in exchange for this loan, the crowd loan, you get project tokens. So for those that did this for Karura, they're happy people today. For those that did it for Moon River, they're very happy people today. And for those that did it for Kilt, I also believe they'll be happy. But there are still other projects coming that are still not over, that have still not been through the process of the Kusama parachain auctions. The same thing is going to happen for the Polkadot ecosystem. So the Kusama parachain auctions were a test ground for the Polkadot parachain auctions. So once that happens, guys, you'll have a chance to get into projects like Moonbeam, for example. So read up on all this, guys. It's really an incredible way to accumulate tokens with very little risk to yourself. I mean, if you are worried about, Kusama, and you're saying to yourself, yeah, but I'm locking it up for 48 weeks, and who's to know where that project will be in 48 weeks? That's another discussion. And if ever you're interested, we can talk about why I believe Kusama is a good investment long term. But for me personally, I have zero problem locking up my Kusamas or my dots for not just a year, but 2, because I believe in them long term. So if you're of that mindset, well, there should be no reason for you not to look into these crowd loans, guys, and the parachain auctions, because they really are an opportunity to accumulate a lot of wealth, especially if you see projects like Mover happen again. It's just an incredible way of accumulating free tokens that are worth a lot of money.
Bilo, come on, just admit it.
Sorry,
you're quite happy to stake for 2 years because you got in at $1. And you've got. Are
we talking about that?
And you've got 5,000 of them. No, I'm talking about Cassandra. I'm not joking.
I wish. Remember what I was telling you yesterday? Those who can teach, those who can't.
Yeah.
I can't. So I.
Yeah, but Bilo, that's where you are completely capable of hodling, and you can invest when it first comes out, because let's face it, at Crypto Society we do know about a lot of projects when they first come out. And we're very early a lot of the time. So you can invest at that early point, and you can just hold on to it. And you don't even have to trade it. You can just look at the charts and go, I was in ages ago. Brilliant.
It is nice.
My complaint is the calls are too early.
I remember you saying that yesterday, Mark. Brilliant. Too early, didn't realise it was so great, and just saw it not really moving a lot.
Guys, I mean, I know someone that owns so many Cardanos and sold them early, for example.
I know someone like that as well, actually.
You know that guy?
Anyways.
Yeah. Stop it, you guys, every time.
I was going to say, is it the same guy?
Definitely, guys. There are projects that, it's just a no-brainer. You don't need to be an FA guru, okay? Just look at the hype, look at the excitement, go on Twitter, go on YouTube. If every YouTuber, every influencer, every FA guy you talk to tells you this is a great project, just follow the lead, guys. It's not so complicated. Projects like DOT, like Kusama, like Moon River, like Moonbeam, like Kilt, you just can't go wrong. Long term, you will not go wrong. And I know there are no guarantees in life because we've all seen, much bigger corporations fold. But yeah, that can happen. But most likely, you cannot go wrong. At the very least, you buy it, you sleep on it. Who buys Apple's? Who buys Apple stock and trades it every day, guys? Who buys Google stock and trades it every day?
Someone just commented they sold KSM at $1.
No.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, what do you want to do? But you know what? It's okay. Move on. You know what? There's going to be other opportunities, even with Kusama. And that's another thing. Let's say you're one of those guys that bought Kusama at $1 and then you sold it. Does that mean you're never going to buy it again just because it's at 400? That would be a mistake. You have to always look at the potential, guys. And at the end of the day, even if I bought something early, I'm going to continue to accumulate as it goes up because I believe in it. So it's not just because I bought early, if I did, or I was lucky enough to buy early, that I'm going to stop buying. And it's not because I sold a project too early that I'm not going to buy back into it. It's all about opportunity cost, and where is your money going to serve you best? We talked about that last week, and actually, it's a nice exit into what I wanted to say. I last week sold, or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember anymore. 2 weeks ago, I sold all my Cardanos. And it's not because I think Cardano is a shit project. And I said this last week, and I sold some Ocean that I've been holding on to for over a year. I was married to these coins, guys. But I look at the market. I look at what my tokens have brought me back in terms of return. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, as much as I liked both projects and I loved Ocean, I was just disappointed holding it for a year. I didn't really see, I saw decent gains, but nothing compared to the gains I would have seen investing in other projects that we're talking about. Excuse me?
I said if you'd invested in Shiba Inu in February. Yeah,
no, but I mean, these are coin tosses, right? Like these are
Yeah, they are
coin tosses. You never really know. That's luck, in my opinion. But I mean, there are so many good projects, like, projects that we hear about every day in crypto society, but ignore because there's just sometimes, a lot of projects. But for example, Phantom, Cadena, these are still projects that are very, very investable. DOT is still very, very investable. Moon River is still very investable. There are so many of them. So when you look at the potential of having your tokens, your money locked up in a project that's not really moving much, for whatever reason, you can analyze it, or you could say, fuck it, it's enough. And you could say to yourself, I'd rather be in something, in a vehicle that's going to make me more money faster. It's time to make that kind of like that break. Just break up with that project, at least some of it, and just move on. And it was hard. It was very hard for me to make those sales, but I'm glad I did them because I put them into something that's going better. And it doesn't mean that one day I might not wake up and say, wish I kept it because it just pumped. You never really know, but you decide with the tools that you have at the time you're in, and you just, you see what's best for the time being. And I brought up the example before of why it's good to hodl. So I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but it's good to hodl projects that are constantly in the media, in the mainstream. There's always a lot of advancements, a lot of reports, a lot of excitement. When was the last time you heard somebody talk about Ocean? I love Ocean. I still have a lot of them. But unfortunately, I just don't see it. Same with EWT. Loved EWT. Thought it was going to change the world. For whatever reason, it ain't moving. So it's just good to reconsider and just understand why is it you're holding something, and maybe reevaluate your portfolio, guys, every now and then. Okay. So yeah, this is my mover chart. This is what I think is happening. I believe that's what's going to happen. We'll see. We'll take it from there. We'll see what happens. DOT, I'd like to point out that with DOT, just when I get to the right time frame, maybe it's a daily. Yeah, it's a daily. So something that you cannot ignore is with DOT is this. So we're making higher highs, but we're making lower highs on the RSI. This is, again, classic bearish divergence. I believe we're going to be dropping, not much. I could maybe kind of like draw this rising wedge here, kind of. I don't know. This is the Bitcoin dump, so I don't like it. So I'll draw it from here. So if I do this, it's not the prettiest rising wedge, but for me, this is enough to say that it's very probable that we're going to drop. And by dropping, I don't mean something huge. I don't see it dropping really that much, but I do see us dropping to around this zone here, just below 30. So personally, I'd be setting up some buy orders. Let's just set up a few lines.
Bilo, is that the moon
here.
just over there on your chart?
There's two of them. I would set up buy orders here and here and here for sure, if you're lucky enough to get them here. So you guys, if you have some USDT lying around and you don't know what to do with it, go into your account, if you're on Binance or whatever, and just set some buy orders. You never know. All it takes is 1 wick. These would be very interesting buying points here, here, and here. I don't think we'll drop much, guys. If you want to look at this wedge and you want to make calculations based on this wedge, it's not a great wedge, but it's not much, guys. Even if we drop right now, we're talking about $30. Yes.
There was a film about this actually, where it only takes 1 wick. There was a guy called John Wick. I think someone killed his dog, and he managed to take care of everything.
What was his RSI?
Fuck knows.
Shotguns.
So guys, this I think we'll see 31.32 in my opinion. I think we'll see it, but most likely this is where we'll see a bounce, just below 30. So I would be setting buy orders here. Don't forget, when the Kusama parachain auctions were first announced, Kusama price just went up like crazy because people were buying it up, knowing that there were going to be people that wanted to enter the Kusama parachain auction. So some people bought it up for the right reasons, in the sense of related to the parachain auctions, but there was a lot that bought it up just because they knew the price was going to go up due to parachain auctions, and they sold right after. Whatever your reason is, whatever your motivation is, whether it's to lock up DOT or just to make a quick flip, I could tell you that once we get closer to the Polkadot parachain auctions, you will see this coin skyrocket. I don't have any doubt that we'll see Polkadot skyrocket. So simple strategy, accumulate every dip, just buy every time it dips. You don't need to put all your portfolio in there. Just buy a little bit every time it dips. I think you'll be happy later. And everybody says this is not financial advice. Do your own research. Obviously, it's not financial advice. Do your own research. I'm not a certified financial analyst, but I'm giving you my opinion with the best of intentions. But please, guys, be careful and never invest more than you can afford to lose. This is not a project that I believe you could lose, big on. You might buy at a price and it might drop. And the thing is that if it's money that you may need in the near future, just don't invest it. If it's money you don't need and you can live without, knowing that in this case you won't lose it, but that you might not be able to recover it anytime soon, then go for it. But if it's money that you might need in a month to pay your mortgage or to feed your kids or to send them to school, guys, do not invest. Don't touch it. Just some friendly advice. Next thing I wanted to talk about was Phantom. So Phantom, look at this. It's just such a beautiful chart. And it was shilled so many times. I hate the word shilled. It was shilled so many times in crypto society. And it's one of those projects that for whatever reason, I didn't pay attention to, and I wish I had. I've recently started accumulating Phantom at around these prices, and I'm happy to continue accumulating. And it's just a beautiful chart. Just look at that wave up. Look at also that we have a very clear ABC. I'm just going to zoom into a 4 hour so we can see it clearly. Look at this. The ABC is almost perfect. It's a one-to-one extension. It's just classical, beautiful ABC. We're now potentially in this channel. I don't want to know. It's not a perfect channel, but we're potentially in this channel. Starting, let's call it here, and this is the bottom. We've had a bounce here, here, here. We've had rejections here, here, and here. So we're at that point right now where it's we're going to see if we're going to break out or not of this channel. Again, I don't want to confuse you. I'm going to draw this channel from here because this is noise. But yeah, we're at that point where we should be seeing something. And again, what's nice is that we don't see any bearish divergence. There is none. On the 4-hour, there is zero bearish divergence. So there's no reason to believe that this is going to stop here in reverse. So I personally think it's more this than that in terms of probabilities. Let's see. We'll see what happens. But another good project to keep your eyes on and to accumulate, guys. We're seeing more and more projects deploy on Phantom. It's another project like Solana, where it's cheap to transact. There's several dexes. There's a lot of opportunities coming and are currently there on Phantom. So it's one of those projects to definitely keep an eye on. Cadena. I'll end the TA today with Cadena. We called Cadena last week. I could show you the chart that we did last week. Just give me a second.
You're trying to remember how to use your Mac.
Yeah. So guys, this is what we did. Did you guys see the screenshot?
No.
You don't see this?
We're still seeing your chart.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
That's okay. It's in our TA channel anyway.
It's okay. But what I can tell you is last week, we were at 1.6 after having completed wave 3. So last week we were somewhere around here. And we called that wave 4 would end in this green zone and that wave 5 would reach this pricing here. This was 1 week ago today, guys. I posted this in the TA channel, not to show off, not to say, look at what we did, look at Crypto Society, just to say that you guys, we believe as Crypto Society, as a team, that you guys can benefit from joining us on these videos because there's explanations and things that we do here that the Crypto Society team puts a lot of their heart into for the benefit of the community. So this was another project that we talked about more than a week ago, but last week we had this TA done on it. We bounced exactly where we said we would, and we've reached the target. Cadena is one of those projects that you will also see a lot of gains happening in the near future. It's a lot more on the map. It's being talked about a lot on Twitter. It's always an indication, guys, when a project's being talked about, it's been around for a long time. But when it starts to get talked about and that hype builds up, well, next thing naturally is for the price action to start moving. So do join us, guys, on these weekly TA live market overviews, because we really do spend the time and the energy to try to bring and give back as much to our community as possible. Last thing I want to mention is Crypto Society. We've recently concluded a partnership with Bird.money. So Bird was known primarily as an oracle and a credit score oracle, but they've been working behind the scenes and have recently announced and have been working hard to make even more announcements coming up. But they've been working a lot on data analytics, specifically wallet data analytics. So Bird is in a rebirth process of improvement and additional use cases that, in our opinion, is going to see a lot of gains in the coming future. It's now deployed on BSC chain and on Solana, and there's a lot more coming. There's a few very interesting announcements coming up in the next few weeks, guys. I would give you some advice to keep your eye on bird.money as well.
Bilo.
Yes.
We've had a request for Ren.
Ren.
And also
right.
PCX afterwards.
Let's take a look at Ren. Wow. That looks very nice.
That does look very nice. Actually looks like it's come sort of halfway up a cup and handle target and then come back down again, doesn't it? On the time frame that you're just on. Not now.
So this is the weekly. Just want to see where we're at on the weekly. Just curious. We made it. I mean, we made it almost back down to the starting. This here would be the wave wave 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. So I would be starting a new wave right here. The new wave count would start precisely here. What's really nice is that what you can see here is this sorry guys, I always lose the
what are you looking for?
here it is, the rectangle. So you could see this here is very obviously, you have 1, 2, 3 on the weekly, a very, very strong support zone, and you can extrapolate this to see why. It's a very strong support zone. It's 3x from where that support zone is. And if we see from the all-time high where we stand today, I don't know if I like this, but anyway, we'll use it because this is the Bitcoin wick. But we got rejected at the 618. Doesn't really matter because if we look at the daily, this is a really nice cup and handle that we see here. So you could look at this a few ways, guys, okay? So you could say, where's the squiggly line? Here it is. You could say this here is the cup and this is the handle. Oops, that wasn't so pretty, was it? Let me do that again. You can say this is the cup and this is the handle. And the target of this cup and handle, and right now, by the way, if this was the case, we're retesting the neckline. So, and the target of this cup and handle is about here, 1.56, okay? This is one way of looking at it, but I can't help but look at this another way and say that, well, even though it's not perfect, this is also another cup and handle because this screws everything up. This wick here from Bitcoin, it's not organic, has nothing to do with Ren. This is Bitcoin. So if I look at it, from that perspective, then this could be the cup and handle, and we are correcting right now, and therefore the target for Ren. You know what? We're gonna do two targets. We're gonna do two targets so that we can identify a range. So this is. We'll see where this ends. And then it's that simple, guys, eh? Target of a cup and handle. It's not more complicated. So yeah, pretty close. So this is the range. It's a big range between 160 and 2. But I would say that 150 and 2. So I would say that this is if we wanted to put take TPs, take profit targets, because you always have to take profits. Don't ever not take profits. So this would be TP1. That's huge. So this here would be TP1. And all the way up here would be TP whatever. You can take it as you go. And obviously you can take TPs before. You can start to take profits before. But looking at this chart, as long as Bitcoin behaves, again, because guys, it's always Bitcoin. You could see Bitcoin dumped, look what happened, right, in April. So as long as Bitcoin behaves, it's very reasonable to think that the price will go to 155 to $2. Between 155 and $2 is what the target for Ren would be, looking at this very, very quickly. Pumpeye or anybody else? I don't know if you have anything else to add on that chart.
No, I don't. You cover it very well, Bilo.
You said PCX?
Yes, PCX, please.
So PCX has been seeing some movement lately. I don't quite know why. If anybody can enlighten me and tell me why, because I don't know why. Anybody know why PCX has been moving up?
Not sure.
Has there been any news, any fundamental news?
Nothing new.
DJ?
Part of the KSX mining is coming online with the chat.
Could you explain to us how that works?
So with the Kusama and the dot element, so PCX is on dot, and the equivalent KSX, which will be coming on Kusama, which is its sister, like you were talking about before with Moonbeam and Moon River. That you're going to be able to mine KSX with a new encrypted chat that's coming out. It's been advertised and talked about in Crypto Society.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, with that coming through, because they're sisters and you're joining, plus PCX is now going for the auctions as well for DOT.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some people are looking to take advantage of that. And for me, I don't know about anybody else on the call, but I think PCX has been artificially kept down for whatever reason. It lost a lot of its value and didn't recover with Bitcoin when it did, and it looks like it's catching up now as well.
So you think that the fact that there's this new app with KCX mining, that's why we're seeing a movement?
I think that's linked in, because they're heavily linked to each other.
Okay. And do you know when the parachain auctions on Kusama for Sherpa X are coming up?
I think it's in this round. If
it
KSX.
is now. Okay, so that could explain the pump as well. Similar reasons to what we gave earlier, in that people are going to buy it up for two reasons: to lock up their tokens, or because they know others are buying it up to lock it up, or that there's a lot of tokens that'll go out of circulating supply. That'll drive up the price, and maybe they can sell. So we don't know yet. But it's certainly nice to see it move. We've been holding it for some time. And something interesting here is the bounce from the bottom happened at 618. It's nice to see that. And if this here was a teacup, cup and handle, it's quite the big handle, but let's say this was a cup and handle. The target for this cup and handle shall be right here, $10, which is not far-fetched, because look at, what was the all-time high? I think it was like $18. This candle is useless. I think it was like $18, right, guys?
Yeah, that's right.
So this is not far-fetched at all, and actually, you know what, makes sense from a perspective of there's a lot of resistance in this zone right here. I'm having a hard time with my chart. So you see here, this is a resistance zone. We'll change the color and make it pretty. There we go. So yeah, very reasonable to believe we'll make it back up to around $10 in the $10, $9 region for PSX very
I'm very
soon.
glad about that, Bilo, because that's where I bought.
Did you not DCA?
No, Bilo, because we were in the middle of a bull market and I didn't expect that huge drop. And they're all staked.
I didn't DCA either.
But let me guess, you got in at $1.
You know what? I bought at several stages, and I think I bought at like 2, 3, 4. I think the highest I think was 8, 9.
Yeah.
But I think my DCA is about 4. So I think, which is it's decent, but again, it's yeah.
Where are you staking your PCX?
This outfit called I forget, crypto cyclic something, crypto. I forget the name. Somebody can remind me, maybe. They have their own.
I think it's I think they repair cars.
Feds has just said ChainX dApps wallet. Yeah, it is ChainX dApps wallet. Feds.
Yeah, it is.
It's on the crypto
we have
thing,
guys. We have our own node with Crypto Society. For those that don't know, so there's a Crypto Society node. We're very proud of that node, and we would appreciate the support by you're staking your tokens with us. You get the same rewards as if you were staking them somewhere else. Just show us that support and stake with us. We would be very appreciative. So PCX looks good, guys. We were all kind of waiting impatiently for it to make a move, and finally we see that it's moving. Let's hope it continues moving to the upside.
I think if you stake at least 100 PCX with Crypto Society, Albex actually comes to your house and gives you a massage.
Wearing a leotard.
Wearing a leotard.
I don't know. It's a bit weird. If you read the contract, you have to be a man. He won't do it to a woman.
No comment.
Bilo, did we cover Seller Network last week?
I believe you spoke about Seller Network.
Okay.
You had a
Can you
fantastic
do me
chart for
can you
Seller
do me a
Network.
favor?
You want to share it?
No, can you have a look at Seller Network for me? Because
Sure.
I shared a chart. Obviously, I've been sharing various updates on our TA channel, and I also shared a chart in another group. And someone said that my target was unrealistic, and it was only, I think it was 18 cents. And I mean, I personally see Seller Network going to a potential of 75 cents to $1 at some point, and I know quite a few other people do as well.
Yeah, so I obviously did a TA on this already. I didn't remember doing a TA on it.
I've heard by the happiest guy in the group that Seller rugged.
And do you know what the best thing is, Mark? That right now, if he's just looking at a dollar perspective, he's in profit from when he got in. And if he took profit at the point where it hit the 2.618 there, then he would have been in quite a lot of profit. And it also would have been before Bitcoin had pumped a bit, which actually I think it's probably dropped down enough now that he's back at the point where he was before, because he wants everything to be in Bitcoin value, which is fair enough to some degree. He wants more Bitcoin because he wants to hold Bitcoin long term. But in some respects, he's also looking at the what it's worth to him in dollars at the end of the day anyway. So it's a little
But
bit
if he's holding long term, I thought he took out a loan, didn't he? Or
yeah, well, that's what I thought as well. But he's looking
anyway,
at the Satoshi value anyway, and so every time it goes down in Satoshi value, he doesn't realize, or at least I don't think that he realizes that at the point where it's at a high Satoshi value, he would be better off swapping to Bitcoin, seeing what Bitcoin does from that point, and if Bitcoin goes up, because I mean, if Bitcoin goes down when it's at a high Satoshi value, then Seller Network's going to go down anyway. So he's better off taking that opportunity to switch into Bitcoin at the point where he's at a high, and then
it just sounds like a scam. It just sounds like a scam. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Excellent.
So Pumpy, I don't remember, but I think you asked me to do a seller last week, and
I can't remember whether it was last week or not. But I mean, I see this. I see this as a
it is because I'm looking. I'll tell you why it was last week, because I'm looking at the target for wave 4.
Yep.
And the date is September 12th. So this would have been last week. So we've again hit another. I love Elliott Waves when they work out. I mean, this here, that speaks for itself. So we've just finished one target. This is, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is essentially 1. This is just 1.
Yeah.
Right? For those that don't know Elliott Wave, I'll just explain very, very quickly.
Sorry, I'm chuckling because explaining Elliott Wave quickly.
Yeah, but just very quickly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And just while he's bringing up his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sorry about this, Bio. Just for anybody, just to pick up on a point. For Christ's sake, don't take out a loan to buy into crypto or anything.
Yeah.
If you need to take out a loan, don't do it.
I fully agree.
Totally good advice. So guys, Elliott Waves, very, very quickly. You always have market moves in cycles. And the cycles, according to Elliott, are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by a correction of an ABC. Once C is complete, you can continue to the upside with a new cycle, or you can continue to the downside. Depends on a lot of parameters. But what's what's interesting to note, and always keep in mind, is just like I said earlier, that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is actually one wave. So this here is 1, and this is 2. Okay, so I can't move it to the left anymore. Why? Okay, here we go. And this is 2. Now, there are a lot of rules when it comes to Elliott Wave, and it's very complicated, and I have a lot to learn myself. But what's interesting and what you want to keep in mind is, since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is actually just one wave, well, this subwave 1 is also 5 waves. Oops. What happened? Damn it. Here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 is A, B, C. And so on. And that's how it works. So when we're looking here and we say, okay, we have a model of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've hit it. Are we done? What happens next? Well, since this was a bottom, we are most likely, the probabilities are that unless there's some crazy event that happens, like Bitcoin again, doing a massive dump, what is going to happen is continuation. Since this is wave 1, the correction that's happening now, the ABC, would be wave 2. And then wave 3 is somewhere there. So now, Pumpy wanted me to take a look at his analysis. I don't know what target you gave, but let's just have a look. ABC is not done here. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC is happening as we speak, and it's not done. And the reason I'm saying it's not done is because you really do want to see that triangle of an ABC. And sometimes it's harder to spot, but on a wave this large, and we just gonna measure the wave just to see what the price action gave us. So we started it here and we went all the way to here. It's 590%.
From what I read in the chat, the arrow is downwards. You started at 1 and you ended up at minus 50.
What?
That's pretty much what I was thinking as well. Mark, where are these magic beans that you keep getting?
No, this is what Thingamajig has been saying in the chat. Fucking wrecked. Yeah.
So yeah, 600%.
Sorry, Bilo.
We've gone up 600%, guys. Hold on, Mark. We've gone up 600%. Okay, so it's not usual for us to go up that much without having a decent retracement. That retracement is the ABC. So what are we looking for? We're looking for, retesting that between 3 and 4 zone. We could very nicely bounce at the 3. If you're looking at Elliott Wave principles, we could bounce somewhere here at the 3, but between the 3 and the 4, let's call it. So if we were to take a Fibonacci extension of the entire wave 1, an extension, excuse me, a retracement of the entire wave 1, look at that. Between 3 and 4 brings us to around 0.5. The nicest bounce ever is the golden pocket, which is at 0.618. But again, I don't see it happening because of the volume profile. I don't see us dropping that much. But look at it as a worst case scenario that, assuming again normal market conditions, that the bounce won't happen below 618 extension. Most likely will bounce above it. But in my opinion, wave 4 is going to be in this region right here at around 0.07. It won't go lower. It doesn't mean that it's going to bounce here. It could bounce higher, but I don't believe we'll go lower than this area here. And there's confluence with this. Area for several reasons. We don't want to get into it. I think we did this last week, but the target for wave 3, based on this analysis, if this is indeed where we bounce at 0.5, let's say that we go down that low. The worst case scenario, if we bounce at 0.5, sorry guys, there's a lot of numbers here. The target would be right here.
Cool. My target was 18 cents, and it was based on that being a rounded bottom, the previous part of the chart.
Yeah.
Which I believe we are retesting the neckline of very soon.
What's interesting, Pumpy, I'm not sure. I'm going to do it right now, just for fun. Okay. Let me just remove all these extensions. Just for fun, I want to see if we was to bounce at the 618, which would be the ideal place to bounce to follow Elliott Wave theory. I want to see if our targets line up better. $0.23. So no, you were at what?
18 for the
18
for the rounded bottom.
So the rounded bottom.
If you for a second, if you just click on the eye icon on the left hand side of your chart to make it clean. If you look now, we're currently coming down to retest the neckline of a great big rounded bottom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're actually pretty much on it now, aren't we?
I think the best thing for us, because we're bold, are extensions.
What are you gonna clip them to, buddy?
That's a good fucking point, actually.
Your ears.
Blade 2.
So Pumpeye, it's a very reasonable target because you do have this rounded bottom here. I would have liked to see personally, let me just remove all this. I would have liked to see, if this here was the neckline, I would have liked to see more of a dip for the handle. The dip seems to be very...
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be a cup and handle, does it? It can just be a rounded bottom.
I suppose.
And if you look at it on the 1 hour chart, it is more of a dip.
If you look at it on the 5-minute chart. But look, anyway, seller looks good. It's following so far the wave count like a champion.
It's also following.
It's all going to depend on how much we retrace. I don't think we're going to retrace much based on this chart. Just going to clean up the chart so we can look at the divergences and see if the divergences say anything to us.
Someone said something about a rounded bottom.
Actually, it was DJ. He loves rounded bottoms.
Always.
I let them personally.
Bottoms up.
Yeah, guys. I mean, this is not going to retrace much.
No, I don't think it is either. I think that neckline might be as far as it's going, to be honest.
Yeah,
just my personal opinion.
I mean,
it's got a bit of momentum going at the moment, and I think the only reason why it's come down as far as it has right now is possibly because Bitcoin's been retracing today.
Look, you got to look at two things. You got to look, and when a candle is going in the downwards direction, first thing I like to look at is volume. If as the candle goes down, volume drops, usually that's sign of a reversal. and it's why we'll see the oscillators showing us bullish divergence. So we do have very obvious bullish divergence on the 4-hour. Very obvious and very strong bullish divergence. So there's very good reason to believe that we should be going up soon. Now, if we take a look at the daily, just to compare, take a look at the daily. It's harder to read on the daily because we don't really have very obvious tops and bottoms. It's more of a linear progression. But again, if this was the low and this is the new low, we also have that bullish divergence on the daily on RSI. It's not showing up on MFI.
Indeed.
So it's a bit unclear. But just based on the 4-hour chart, based on the way this looks, as an overall, I don't think seller is going to see much more retracement, just based on this volume profile here.
So that was the low and the new low presented by Bilo.
Yes, sir.
What else? The down low.
The down low by Bilo. We should have that as the title. Cryptocurrency down low by Bilo.
What else you got?
How about, did you look at Moon River already?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Atom and AVAX, please.
Look at that. Beautiful. We even have, it's gone. Pumpy. I just saw it and it went away. What happened? Did you see that green buy signal that just popped off the screen?
Did it?
Oh, I want to see it come back.
I think it's you have a window open and some cold air just came in.
Okay, so Atom and AVAX after this.
Atom and AVAX coming right up. Wow. So I would say this is going to retrace soon. Yeah. I would have to say that this is going to retrace soon. So what we see here, just from, I mean, there could be some fantastic news that makes all this go away, but there is bearish divergence, and we're having a hard time breaking above this RSI. Every time we try to break it, we go back down. Happen here, it's about to happen here. It's actually happening as we speak. Doesn't mean we're going to go down much. I don't know, but
there's quite a lot of volume, although it is tapering off.
Don't forget, we're on the daily. So if I zoom in a little bit,
yeah,
still you see that RSI. It's on all serious time frames. Let's call them that. Bearish divergence RSI is on all serious. I think we're gonna drop here. We're not gonna drop. I'm not saying we're gonna drop much, but if we were to try to
the right side of your screen is looking pretty red.
Yeah.
Bilo only watches the red coins.
That's because he follows the Chinese version.
Although Bitcoin is currently red, so that could have something to do with it. If you look at my watch list, there's actually lots of green. FTM's doing very well. Synthetics is doing.
Ooh, look at you! Look at you!
So
I
guys,
think I've just got a bigger watch list.
I don't know who wanted to know about Adam,
DJ Tam.
but here's my count for Adam. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we started a new wave here. This is a shitty looking ABC. And this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this looks like, and I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, like an ending wave diagonal. I just want to check it. If it is, it consolidates Y. I think we're about to go down.
Can you do a Donald Trump impression?
You.
Oh, was that it?
Can you do an impression
DJ?
of Ernie from Sesame Street, please?
DJ. DJ.
Yep.
Does that answer your question on Adam? This is an ending wave diagonal, and the fact that wave 3 is so small relative to wave 1, I think we'll see a decent correction.
To which point?
So I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. One thing I do know is whenever you end up with let's just measure wave 3. If wave 3 is smaller than wave 1 or wave 5, and wave 5 is an ending wave diagonal, like I said, I'm still learning Elliott wave. It's a very complicated analysis. I'm not there yet, but what I do know is when wave 3 is not the longest wave, and when it's shorter than wave 1 or 5 or both, and wave 5 is an ending wave diagonal, that usually means a strong correction. So I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. I just want to check the size of each wave. So this one is look at that there. It's just under. Wave 3 is just under the size of wave 1. And wave 5 is smaller. Okay. So it's not as bad because wave 3 is not the smallest wave, but what I think could happen is something like this. I'm just going to draw it for you. That's what I think can happen. And you'll see this very classic, especially when you have an ending wave diagonal for wave 5. You'll see this head and shoulders pattern. And let's assume you have a one-to-one extension of your ABC. So we can target the C and see if there's confluence with the target of the head and shoulders. So the one-to-one would be here. And the target of the head and shoulders is here. So I would say that this here is a buy zone. If I was looking to trade Adam, I would be buying it around here. And what's nice is that it also has confluence with Elliott wave theory that you can't retrace below wave 1. So yeah, that's what I would say about Adam.
Cool, thanks. I'll put my buys in about 31 then.
If you want to be safer, you want to put them in at around 33, but you can ladder down to maybe 30, 31.
Merci beaucoup.
Bienvenue. Just for fun, I want to see.
You know, most of us drink beer and
We
stuff
make
for
it down
fun.
to
You need to
here.
get out more.
Excuse me?
Most of us drink beer and stuff like that for fun. You need to get out more, Bilo.
Okay.
Okay.
Crypto.com is spamming me now, saying this is down, that is down, this is down, that is down.
That's just because BTC down.
But yeah, Bilo, having a look.
Yes,
have
sir.
another look at Bitcoin. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this potential bearish wedge that's been going on. Well, bearish rising triangle, rising wedge. Because we've broken through what would be the resistance line.
You mean this? Oh, let me put up another BTC.
Getting spammed by coin stats now. This is down, that is down, this is down.
Turn it off.
Are you talking about this?
Yeah. Although actually no, not there. If you cut it through where the price is already to the previous point, so drag that.
Yeah.
Just drag the top right hand side. Drag that, not that bit, the other one, the bottom line. Yeah, drag that so that it's not against this area of the price, so that it's against the previous point around what 47. No, yeah, it was the other end I wanted you to put there.
Like that?
Yeah, and now now work out the potential price target, because I've just done it, and you know Plan B was saying that that we were going to be at 43,500 for the end of September.
He's bloody good, isn't he?
Guess where it brings you to? Yeah, I've got 43678. But yeah, very very similar.
So, like I was saying earlier, this wouldn't scare me at all, because as long as we stay within our green zone, which is right here.
Yep.
We can move this up or down a little bit. Doesn't really matter. As long as we stay here.
If it's not looking correct, we'll move it a little bit, all right?
Can you move it up?
But I mean, seriously, this zone here, as long as we don't go below it, there's a candle here. It doesn't worry me at all. In fact, right here, it's double bottom. So, yeah, I'm overly bullish, guys. I have no bearishness in me right now. Yeah, this can play and can go down here, and it doesn't really matter. To me, this is stability.
Nice. It looks a little bit like a really dodgy game of Hangman.
The thing is, there is bullish divergence, clearly. So, unless we see a nice, strong red candle here, I think we're going to bounce right here, sir.
Okay, cool.
Right here.
To be fair, we are...
this yellow line, since we're on the 4 hour, it's the 1200 EMA, it's the SMA, it's the, this is the...
50 period moving average?
No, it's the 200.
Really? Because I'm looking at the simple moving averages on my 4 hour chart, and there's the 50 is just below us, and the 200 and the 100 are just above us.
Here we go. Well, it depends what time frame you're on, right? So on the daily time frame, the 200 EMA, the 200 SMA, excuse me, is at 46K. I don't see us dropping below that. If we do, it'll be a scam wick and back up. And that's why I'm saying as long as we're in this region, we don't go much below it. These are scam wicks. But this is a very important support, and I think it'll continue to be. And below that, we have this support, which is the 200 EMA, which is lining up with wave 3, the previous wave 3. So it's a very strong support right now, this previous wave 3, just as a reminder to everybody. This one right here. Right here. So now the 200 exponential moving average is lining up with the previous wave 3, making it an even stronger support. So we have a lot of support, guys. I don't know.
I was just about to say there is a lot of support that's building there, isn't there?
Yeah. So, and look at the volume on the daily. We're dropping, but look at the volume candle. Look at the profile.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, easily manipulated, but if you look at it from a purely TA perspective, I just don't feel bearish.
Most importantly, it's Sunday. It generally happens on a Sunday.
That's right. Yeah, it's almost over now.
Yeah, actually, the Chicago Mercantile is open again, isn't it now? I believe it opened about an hour and a half ago.
What time is it? It's open. It opens at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is about 10 p.m. CET.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, but Bilo, what are you if you don't feel bearish?
The thing is that I've been abandoned by my entire bear family. I'm an outcast now.
I graciously accepted him into my bullishness.
I'm having a species change operation soon. And yeah. Anything else, guys, you want to cover?
Should we kill Baldwin?
If he continues to be that way, yeah, we should.
We can sacrifice Baldwin. If Bitcoin continues to go down, we'll sacrifice him. Because it's his bearish.
Just thinking how to do it.
Well, he's already faceless.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
So we can't stick anything in his face.
No, maybe just chop his whole head off.
Should just call him Nicolas Cage.
See if we can swap it on CalSwap.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Thank you very much. Can tell what kind of crap movies I watch as well. The other one to look at was AVAX.
Coming right up.
Baldwin is actually very active in the chat right now, so he could have joined us.
He can't speak though. He can't hear. He's got no face.
That's why he's done it. I asked him the other day, and he said it's so that he could, so that people couldn't dox him too much. But it's clearly because if he doesn't have a mouth, then he can't speak on the live chats.
Maybe you just got a big penis. That just makes up for everything. I mean, you don't need a beautiful face.
Pumpeye,
I'm so glad I put that these videos aren't meant for kids.
Pumpeye, have you reached the technical capacity where you can edit things out of these videos before they're on YouTube or not?
No, I haven't.
Just checking.
I've never tried. I've never had to. And I've live streamed pool money matches where people have been quite drunk and saying all sorts.
You should put it on a 30-second delay.
So honestly looks not as bad, but looks a little bit like Adam in terms of the bearish divergences. Doesn't look too bad though.
I think this one's a lot different though because there's a lot of FA behind it. Yeah, there's a lot of FA behind it, isn't there, with money flowing into it.
That's for sure. These tweezer tops are usually indication of a strong, well, I don't want to use the word. It's an indication of a reversal, right? Whenever you see tweezer tops like this, you'll normally see the price come back down a bit. If this was a complete wave and its correction, then we would easily see this as being another wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5. But the fact that the waves are getting shorter, again, usually means a strong correction is coming. Because if this was your ABC here, and this is obviously a wave 1, again, taking the measurement of wave 1, taking the measurement of wave 2, and excuse me, 3. Mind you, we don't know if wave 3 is over yet. Maybe this is part of wave 3. But if this was the end of wave 3 and we kind of retrace down somewhere to here, it's quite bearish, because anytime wave 3 is shorter than wave 1, it's a sign that there's going to be a decent correction coming. Because usually wave 3 is the longest wave, is because that's where most people hop onto the trade. Wave 1 is smart money. Wave 3 is, let's call it, less smart money. And wave 5 is dumb money. Think of it that way. So if wave 3 is where the majority of the people are coming in, because they want to be part of this this impulsive move to the upside, is not strong, that means wave 5 is going to be even worse, and the recorrection will be much harder from a psychological perspective. The only way that this analysis doesn't work out, what I just said, is if we're still not even close to finishing wave 3. Because right now this could be 1, 2, 3. We're doing 4, and then 5 is somewhere up there. So, as always, guys, in trading, it's more about possibilities and the reasons behind the possibilities. So if we wanted to take it from a bullish perspective now and say wave 3 is not done, we would pull a Fibonacci extension on this here. This is 1, this is 2, and we would want to see price reaching here for wave 3 of sub-wave 3. So just to draw it out, I'm just giving you both scenarios, okay? To draw it out, this is 1, 2, 3 would be in this zone. I don't even want to get into 4 and 5. It's too early, but just to give you an idea, I'm going to get rid of 4 and 5. Just going to move them out completely. So if we see a retracement below 382, this wave is invalidated. Why? Because in Elliott wave theory, we can never go below wave 1. Because if we do, it invalidates the wave count, or it just tells us that there's a complete reversal in direction and we're heading back down strongly. And this, to me, right now, looks like it might be the case. That's why I'm leaning more bearish for the time being, based on these two candles, than I am bullish. But if this was to reverse back up, then it would just tell me that this was not the end of wave 3. We should be looking for the end of wave 3 to happen somewhere here. And that then and only then would be means for us to say that this is a healthy wave up and we're going to just continue up before making any notable corrections. Sorry, but I really can't say more on this.
No, it's good. Again, I want to buy in lower.
Bilo, as a last coin, can we have a quick look at Harmony 1?
Is the tag for it 1?
Yes.
Sort of sounds like you want a hug. Oh, Harmony
Go
1.
on a date. E-Harmony?
We can be one together.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Okay.
Sol Day.
Oh, Pumpeye used that one earlier.
swipe
So
left.
Harmony 1 looks something like this.
If Bilo smoked drugs, would he be high?
Your jokes are way funnier when they're written down and you've got time to think about them.
Yeah, I know, they're so shit on me.
Every time you say something in the chat, or when you write something in the chat, I'm normally laughing my head off. And then whenever you say anything and we're live, the live stream just goes dead.
I think the same myself.
What have I just
Bilo,
said?
can you draw a tumbleweed?
I'll send one through the chat.
If we all meet up, I'm going to bring a little notebook so I can write these down.
I'm having a hard time deciding if this is wave 3. Because I need to count the waves. So if this was wave 2, this is not obvious at all in this case.
Look more like a rounded bottom.
2, 3, 4. No, it's not obvious.
Rounded bottoms do not occur in Elliott Wave. They are completely
No, but they do on the big picture.
they are a completely separate form of trading. But
There's way too much noise for me to do a clean wave count, so I just won't.
so you just won't.
Yeah.
Right, so on to the rounded bottom.
But this here is a cup and handle. That pleases you, sir.
Ooh. And what's the target of
Right?
that, my friend?
I mean, look at that.
What's the target?
Pretty accurate in terms of a top. The target, my good sir, is go away, you.
42.
$0.40.
Shit, so close.
Nice. So
But I honestly, I don't like that I can't do a wave count on it, so I don't know.
So, I mean, looking at that, actually, if you are a bit of a brave trader, DJ, you've got a bit of degen in you. Then, if you're not expecting Bitcoin to go down at the moment, then this would be a very, very good buy-in time for Harmony One.
Yeah, I am expecting Bitcoin to go down.
So you've got a buy target a little bit lower.
It's very good, guys, to try to combine FA with TA when you're doing it, because you can have, you know, beautiful TA and everything looks nice, but then there's shitty news coming out, it'll dump.
Yeah.
So if there's good news coming out or currently happening with, for example, Harmony One, well, you have more reason to think it's
DJ
gonna go
Town,
upside.
did you
Especially
see any news about the post office with their
Is he for real?
app? Sorry? Yeah, I'm for real. Fuck off. Did you see any
Okay.
news with the post office with their app, which would
You
allow
realize
more?
we are live, right?
Okay, I'll just ask in the chat. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, but go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, yeah, it was about the post office in the UK about having an app which would allow more access to Bitcoin and crypto.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, that was weird because I just searched it now, and apparently 4 days ago it was out.
One thing I thought they were doing was gyros.
Pumpeye, you have any charts you want to share, buddy?
No, I was actually just if you look at the daily on Bitcoin, are we currently at risk of a bearish engulfing candle? Because it kind of looks like it. And there is an hour and a quarter until the close.
So you want me to
break 47
We're
again?
gonna have to zoom in.
You're saying if we look at the daily, is there a chance of what?
Of a bearish engulfing candle. Because it looks like it to me. You'll have to go in. Quite
Yeah,
a lot.
there is.
47 just went.
Yes, it did.
It would be fun to see it go all the way down to here to 45 and then bounce here, just so I can be right.
I'm not sure if you will be. I think too many people now believe in Plan B.
This
Plan
could
Bilo.
actually turn ugly quite quickly. I mean, it's already a what?
Yeah.
No, it's only a $2,000 candle, not quite 2,000.
I do see us going down. I just don't see us going down much.
It's interesting on the 1 minute.
We have 1 second here if you're interested.
Do it.
Do it.
Stick it on auto. Let's have a look at the 1 second chart.
All right, let's go.
It's gone yellow. What does that mean?
Here's the 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
Elliott Waves that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3,
I think you need a few lines of cocaine to analyze this one.
This is not financial advice, and we are not advocating that you have a few lines of cocaine.
I just received a message from Baldwin. He just chatted and said, by the way, I'm going short again.
How about
Shit.
that? He's not, is he?
He is short.
He's short. He said he was about 6 foot.
That's short. That looks like a corkscrew formation.
That's short. That's called the fizzle out. So guys, I think that concludes this week's charting. If you'd like to join us again next week, that would be great. Thank you very much to Bilo for all of your charting this evening and for your market analysis, where you think we're going with Bitcoin. And I think he might have disappeared to go and short. As usual, guys, we will be back next week, hopefully at the earlier time as per usual. And see you again. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
Thank you.
guys.
Good night.